अरे क्या है यूट्यूब पे लाइव आ रही हूँ ये शर्ट से तो मुझे प्यार होगा अभी से बहुत प्यारी है हाँ लग रही है बहुत सॉफ्ट सी गुची गुची
All right, so we are live. Hey guys, I welcome you all. I'm so sorry for the delay. We are a little bit behind, but it's okay. 1 second, huh? There's some disturbances.
वीडियो तो मेरा मेरी जान
All right. Hey guys, I welcome you all on this webinar. My name is Grishma Singh, and I am at the moment the community head at Merge Intern. And today we have with us a very close friend of mine. Her name is Ankita Tripathi, and she is a technical writer, and she's been writing for the last 5 years out of passion, if I'm not wrong. So we are going to learn a lot about what technical writing is, the difference between technical writing and content writing. So ask as many questions as possible, learn as much as possible, and understand the career potential in technical writing. I'm now going to hand over the entire session to Ankita. Ankita, first of all, thank you very much for accepting and understanding the importance that there is a need for the students to learn about it. Now the stage is all yours. Go ahead, and I'm going to be there listening to you. All this well, all the very best.
Thank you, Grishma. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Whoever is watching, I am pretty sure you are here because you have at some point of time thought of becoming a content writer or a technical writer. So there has been a myth that has been flowing all over the internet, and so I'm a active member on LinkedIn. So we have a lot of writers on LinkedIn, and a lot of them have always doesn't make sense because technical writing is entirely different than what content writing is. And I think today I'm going to share a lot of myths that have been going around that technical writing is just same as what content writing is, but it's not. Second myth is that we don't know what exactly is the career option when we talk about technical writing because as all of you maybe I don't know if you are students who are pursuing engineering or you are students who are pursuing anything, but I have done my engineering, so I pretty well know that we as students never got any options other than what engineering, like what can we do other than that. So so I'll tell you my story first before beginning this because obviously I think Grishma has heard this story thrice of more than that, so she's pretty equipped with what I'm going to say. So yeah, I did my engineering, and then as everyone else here, I joined as a software developer with Infosys. I worked with the company for 2 years, 2.5 years, and one day I was having a conversation with my best friend, and we were discussing about all the career options that we wanted to do always. Like I loved writing, she loved her things. So when we were discussing, I realized that this is something that I should do full time. This is something that I should pursue, and that was the day I put my resignation without telling my parents, of course. So I put my resignation letter, and I started pursuing writing without knowing even ABCD of how do I pursue it, how will I go forward with it. What are the options? I had no clue, absolutely no clue. I think things have got better now because we have so many things online going on, we have so many people everywhere, but still there is a myth that keeps on rolling around. So I started as a content writer, but I realized that my interest lies in technical writing more. So okay, I won't waste a lot of your time, and I'll start with how can you build your career as a technical writer. So let me start with my first slide, and that is one more thing. I don't have a lot of text. I'm going to talk a lot. I want to take a lot of questions. I want to talk to you students because I think this is what you want, right? That you want to listen and I want to hear. So that's it all about. So the first slide is companies that take technical writing seriously. So if you see all the major companies that one really wants to work in, be it Google, be it Microsoft, Red Hat, GitHub, Amazon, and still, as an individual, we don't even know what is technical writing. So I'll tell you one myth that in India, especially in India, I'm not trying to demean anyone, but especially in India, we don't really take technical writing seriously. People don't even know that such a field exists. In fact, internationally, I think they take it pretty seriously. They have, especially company like Google has taken this pretty seriously. They have courses running around technical writing. They have positions open for technical writers. They pay a humongous amount to technical writers. So people who think that only developers are the ones who get a lot of payment in terms of tech, they're absolutely wrong, because there is a field called technical writing, and that's what I'm going to share it with you today. So I think a lot of people here want to work for these companies. And also, one more thing I want to say: keep shooting your questions in the comment box. I'm trying to keep a track of your questions, and whenever I feel like, I would like to answer each and every question of yours. Right? So, okay. So, what exactly is technical writing? So, technical writing is everything technical that we need to simplify for our audiences. Now, as a brand company, suppose let's take an example of Google itself. Google has so many products running inside the company that each product needs its own documentation. Each product needs its own manual. Each product needs its own things to simplify, because I don't think so anyone out of us would understand what Google does if there were not better writers available, right? It's as simple as that. Similarly, it's all about this. This is the same thing that goes with the designers as well. Google is Google today for us. It's so simple for us today because it's also because of the designers, the writers that go behind the screen, and that's what we are going to do here. So, does technical writing is technical writing equivalent to creative writing? Can it involve something humorous? So I guess definitely it can involve a humorous set of content, but this is a very great example that I've tried to put in here, that you should not ever put your humorous content in the table of contents like this, because this will only make a mess out of nothing, right? So the next myth and the question that I get the most, that is it the same as content writing? And my answer is a strict no. So what are the differences? I'm going to tell you, but please don't take it same as the content writing, because and in fact it's more difficult than content writing. I'm not again trying to demean anyone, because I've been doing a lot of freelance projects as a content writer as well. So since I worked in both the streams, I know the difference and I know how difficult it is uh, to be a technical writer than a content writer, because not just the knowledge of tools is required, but the knowledge of the product is the knowledge of text. So great developers in their life, right? But sometimes you just cannot be a developer. Sometimes you have that knack for development, but you are also very good with writing. So that's when you realize that, oh shit, I can be a technical writer. Why not? In fact, I can be above the marketplace. I can earn a lot. And I'm not kidding, but you can actually earn a lot being a technical writer. So, yeah, I'll tell you. So, what does technical writing involve? It involves manuals, API and SDK documentation, open source documentation, product documentation, process documentation. I'll tell you one thing. Uh, all the people here must be having one or the other furniture from a brand, suppose LG, Samsung, Whirlpool, anything, right? So, whenever we try to install anything, suppose you just bought a new TV of LG, but when you open the television you have absolutely no idea how to set it up, and you just try to search for that manual in the box, right? So when you search for that manual and you try reading it, those steps is what technical writing is also. So that's a part of a manual, right? So whatever products you get through all these companies, all these brands, is called manuals. Suppose you want to be a part of an e-commerce company. So currently I'm working with an e-commerce company. So I can tell you this, that all the products that have been on Amazon, Flipkart or Walmart or any other website that you know of, where you shop, everything that is written on the website is also a part of technical writing, not the description because that's not really technical, but anything that runs behind the screen is all technical. Similarly, whenever you want to build a product, you always do not have to have absolute product knowledge, right? Sometimes you have to use APIs of another products to leverage that functionality. So leveraging that APIs is also not a very easy thing until and unless there is a great documentation that helps me. Okay, so if I want to leverage a sign up or login API just from a normal company and they have their open source APIs available, so you can just take their APIs and try to integrate it with your website. But is it that simple? I don't think so, because until and unless I have a very structured, proper API documentation available with me, I would not even know what are the parameters there. So that's when you simplify. You, as a technical writer, are simplifying something for someone which is absolutely difficult to understand. So this is what API and SDK documentation is. Then the third part and the most important part of being a technical writer is contributing to open source documentation. So what is that? If you students have ever been developers or you want to learn tech, you must have realized that a lot of people try to post their codes as an open source code on GitHub, right? So when you try to write a code for an open source community, you realize that if anyone wants to use that code, they cannot simply use it until and unless there is a proper README documentation available. So, and that's where a lot of developers fail. And that's where a lot of code fails because not a lot of people are using it. So, that's one more use case, and that's an absolutely important use case that you can use. Try to get involved with open source codes, open source developers, try to be in contact with them and try to contribute to one of the open source projects. That's when you realize that understanding that code, understanding that project and writing for them is something, again, what technical writers do. And that's an absolutely important task that we do. The fourth part is product documentation. So whatever products again we get, suppose there is a software product, there's a hardware product. So I have been a part of both the companies. I have been a part of a company that used to create APs routers, that is the hardware part, and I have written documentation for that. And currently I'm with a company that creates e-commerce search engines. That's a part of a software product, and I've been a part of that also. So I can tell you that a lot of thinking involves. And you know what is the best part? You are involved from the A to Z of the product. Like, I don't know if anyone from the entire office is ever involved from A to Z, right? There are developers who are just worried about the code, there are designers who are worried about the design, there are reviewers, there are testers, but you are the one who is involved from the part where the project starts to the part where the project ends. And I think that's an absolutely great thing because you learn the entire product at one go. So that's another thing that technical writers do. And the fourth is the process docs. So how does something work? So we also call them how to docs. So how does this work, how does that work? Again, if you want to say, I don't know how does a scooter works because I want to drive one but I don't know how does it work. So we have process docs, and that's when technical writers come into picture because they have to simplify the entire process and write it as a process docs. So that's another thing. Now, what content writers do is absolutely opposite of it. It's not even, I think you must have noticed, it's not even touching any node of technical writing part. So while content writing involves writing articles, writing blogs, writing website content, or copywriting. So content writing involves a lot of research that you might have done online, and you have to write it in your own way, involving a lot of creativity, involving a lot of flux words, involving a lot of imagination and everything. So that's where content writing comes. It's very artistic, and it's entirely different than technical writing. So a lot of people, again, this is the question that I get a lot, that how can I start my career in it? For me, it is like, just start. So that one thing that you can do for starting this is start by contributing to an open source code development. So when you open GitHub, you can find thousands of projects that have been created by developers and have been dumped on GitHub. Okay, so what you can do is try to connect with one of the projects that you feel a connect with. Like this is a code that can build into a good project, but it doesn't have a good documentation. So you can just directly approach to that project and start building the documentation. This is where you start building your portfolio and you exactly know how to structure it. So structuring is one of the most important parts of technical writing. Obviously I cannot cover everything at one session, obviously, because I want to connect, uh, converse a lot around it, but I cannot. But yeah, so structuring is one of the most important parts of technical writing. uh, the second thing that you can do is start your Medium blog or your own website. So a lot of good technical writers, like I know a lot of Casey Parker, Lana Brindley, they have all started their career with technical writing by creating their blogs, by creating their Medium accounts, and writing a lot of technical stuff. So that's how they had built their portfolio. And as a student, this might help you also, because once when you get out of college, you will have a lot of leverage on yourself that you can put on companies and start creating a career out of it, right? And the next thing is keep up to date with the latest tech blogs. So I know how important it is to keep up with the tech blogs, because uh, you might not know everything that's going around in the corners, right? So being able to keep up with the tech blogs is important. Like there is INC42. There are a lot of tech blogs that I can share links to, so you can just read them. What are the skill sets needed? Again, this is something very specific to technical writing, which I believe is specific to any kind of writing. But choose brevity over word limit. So what happens is, technical writing is something that people won't read whole sentences for, right? They're not going to read long lethargic articles. They are just here to the point. They are here for information. So choose brevity, be concise with your words, be very specific. That's how you write. Second is make proper language and grammar your best friend. So having a proper language structure and having a proper grammar is extremely important. I keep on posting such things on LinkedIn as well. I get a lot of engagement on them. And I have had my course of arguments over it, because people say, I write, but I'm not that good at grammar. So I don't think so that matters for a writer, because all that matters is the imagination, which I feel is such a uh, I don't know, it's such a demeaning thing to say, because as writers, I know if you don't put attention to your language or grammar, you are being a mediocre writer. So if you want to rise from 7 to 9 out of 10 with your writing skills, you have to be very good at your grammar skills as well. It's always it's not like you'll get it in one shot. You'll keep improving, and that's the whole point. And say hello to accurate word choices. Again, one more important thing in technical writing is you have to be very specific with the words that you're using. You cannot just use alternative or jargons or hard sound languages just like that. You have to be very specific. You have to use acronyms very specifically. All this is very in detail, so I won't go to that point. Next is don't forget technical correctness. Always, always, always. You should have a knack of technicalities, proving that you should have an eye for detailing for your technical correctness. If you don't think you have that technical thing in you, but you still love writing, then you should always go for content writing, because that's your field then. And technical writing is not your field. And last is please forget about passive voice. I know passive voice is somewhat acceptable when you're writing, when you're content writing, but it is a strict no-no when you're doing technical writing, because again, everything that happens in the present. All right. So what are the tools that you should learn? These are just the top 6 tools that I've mentioned over here, but there are a plethora of tools that you should learn. For me, it has been Google Doc, FrameMaker, Data, Oxygen XML, Adobe Tools, Git, and cloud technologies. Be very specific to them. Suppose one tip I want to give here. So, suppose if you want to join Microsoft as a technical writer. So make sure you are contributing to their open source projects. Like Azure is one of their greatest technology. So you can start by contributing to Azure technologies, start writing. There have been, in fact, a lot of competitions that have been doing the rounds by great, good companies. So you can start writing for them, and that's how you can develop your skills, right? These are some of the references that I personally adhere to, like Dozuki's Tech Handwriting book. There is a Reddit group called Technical Writing Group. There is a website called I'd Rather Be Writing. There is Cassie Parker's Medium blog. There are APA style guides and Write the Docs. So, if you want to be a technical writer, I think if you take these six as your go-to place, there is nothing else in the world you'll ever want to know about technical writing, because these things have everything, right? So this is it. I would love to take any questions if you have. I would also want a lot of people from you. If you have that knack and if you really want to do technical writing, you don't know how to do it, then please join my community. Again, I'll post those links and connect with me on LinkedIn. You will get a lot of knowledge there as well. So yeah, that was from my side. Um, so Grishma, how do we go about the questions? Like, I can't see them. I can't see. I can't see the questions. Nope. Sorry, guys, I can't see the questions. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, okay, let me first say hi to everyone. Hi, Divya. Okay. Okay. So, Murli has asked the basic qualification, duration of learning process, how to apply, working environment, the perks, etc. Okay, this is a lot and this is everything. So, okay, Murli, the basic qualification, you have to have a BTech degree. That's the basic qualification that even Google has asked for. That's the minimum and the only qualification they have asked for. Hello?
Hi, hey Ankita.
Yeah, Krishma?
Hey, can you hear me? All good? So what you've shared, and with respect to you might see. Do you see it on? Are you able to?
Yeah, I took my friend's phone. Yeah, I can see it now.
All right, fine.
So, yeah, so as I was answering Murli, so yeah, so the basic qualification I've already told you, the duration of learning process. So for me, I didn't join anything as such. I didn't take any course. I didn't take any specific college degree for this, because I wanted to learn it on field, and that has been proven as my biggest achievement. That while working itself, I learned so much that here I am giving a session. So I think that's what you should do. If you really want to do some courses, there are some great courses on Upwork, which I don't find a lot of money worth or something like that. But surely, if you start writing, I think that's the biggest duration of learning process that you can get. How to apply? Again, same thing. Working environment and the perks. Okay, this is a very good question. As for the perks, I would like to tell you. Google has recently launched a contest called Google Season of Docs. I don't know how many of you have even heard of it. This competition involves just this is only for the technical writers. Okay, so a lot of organizations who have open source code, they participate in the competition. They put their projects, Google shortlists them, and then the technical writers are given a leverage to choose their project, sorry, choose their project out of all the projects that have been declared. When you choose a project, you have to prepare a proposal for that project and you have to submit it. Once selected, you are up for Google season of docs as a team member. And I don't know, this is such a great achievement because I have been a part of one of those projects that's called Good Docs. And this is something so big because I have never had any traditional qualification, as to say so, but just by trying, just by writing for open source documentations, I have learned this much. And yeah, that's it. And if you want major detailing, because it will require another session for learning technical writing as such, so you can always contact me. I'm there on LinkedIn. Cool. Okay, Aditi Jaiswal has asked passive voice. Can you explain with an example? Oh, there are a lot of examples for this. If you want to say the hook was attached to the door, instead of, you have to say the door is opened using the hook. So that's how manuals work. That's how people understand, because in passive voice the subject is always missing. And when the subject is missing, people do not really understand that what are you as a writer trying to tell me. Like, the hook is attached to the door and people are saying, by whom, how should I do that? So that's when passive voice is not very acceptable. So you should always say the door has a hook. That's how passive voice should be avoided and active voice should be given a precedence over passive voice. All right, Priyanka. Okay, Priyanka has asked, I too need help with passive voice. Can you help explaining it with an example? I've just done that. I can, in fact. So yeah, Priyanka, there's one more thing. If you, Priyanka and also the other person, Aditi, Priyanka and Aditi, if you really want to know how to avoid passive voice and use active voice for technical documentation, please refer to this Dozuki's tech handwriting book. This is, if you type on Google, you will get to the website. He has given the ultimate examples of using active voice over passive voice, and you will understand everything. So I might give you some examples, but again, the session will fall short of all that. So yeah. Srivali has asked, hi, how to write facts in a way that plagiarism doesn't happen. So facts, so there is one more thing. Okay, for technical writing, I do not know because there is not a lot of plagiarism that runs around. But for writing facts, if you want to avoid plagiarism, so there is a percentage of plagiarism that is acceptable, and it doesn't really work on facts. Because if you say that the pen is kept on the table, you are not going to twist it any other way, because that's how the scene is. The pen is in fact kept on the table, right? So even using plagiarism tools like copyscape or something like that, there is an acceptable percentage of plagiarism that's allowed, which is again defining the facts, right? So you should not use a lot of facts in your article, again, because that increases the chances of getting it plagiarized. But anything that you are writing other than facts should not be plagiarized. That's how it's done. Okay. Anugya. Hey, hi, Anugya. Hi, Ankita. Please tell me more about API and SDI documentation. First of all, that's API and SDK documentation. So I'll explain it in very simple words. So whenever you log into a website, okay, suppose you are creating an account with Amazon, okay, you have typed your details like name, email, country of origin, or anything like that sorts, and you have signed up for the website. So whatever happens here, this sign up thing, this login thing, it all runs on APIs. Okay, so API is a code that is running. So how to say that, so now I am creating a website, okay, and I want to make the same sign up account, I want to make the same login screen. So what can I take is, I can just take Amazon's APIs and try to integrate it with my website. But again, it's not so simple to integrate any other company's APIs. Those are open source, obviously. to your website until and unless you don't understand how to do that. So all the big companies like Amazon, Microsoft, anything, any company, they have created a documentation around those APIs, and they have explained each and every parameter. That's what we do with API documentation. We explain each and every parameter. So suppose if there is a parameter called revenue, we will explain revenue in such words that you will understand without using the word revenue in the explanation. And that's the beauty of being a technical writer, that you have to explain the parameter revenue, but you don't have to use the word revenue. And that's when you use, okay, the amount or the profit that you earn as a seller above. So this language in itself explains the reader that, okay, that's revenue, oh yes, I want that feature. So this is all what we explain in API documentation. And similarly is the SDK documentation. If you want to integrate a bunch of tools, a bunch of features from a website, that is SDK documentation. Again, it requires a lot of detailing, a lot of feature explanation, a lot of parameter explanation. So and I'm sorry, but I cannot explain API and SDK entirely in just this session, but I would love to. So if you have any questions, I would love to help you all. Okay, so next is, can you show an example of your work? Anmol has asked. There is a lot. I hope you are not a client that's trying to ask me for my work, but there are a lot of things that I've written. Um, how can I show you that? Huh? Yeah, maybe I would like to. So yeah, you can just. That's what I've written. Like you can connect with me on LinkedIn, so you can have everything from that because I've put all the links there. So you can have that. Arvinda has asked difference between technical writing corner. I think I just spoke about that, but okay. So again, I'm telling the major difference between technical writing and content writing. That's what I've explained it over here. You can see what technical writers do and what content writers do is entirely different. So again, I'll explain it to you, Arvind, that technical writing is more like, again, just like I gave you an example of Samsung, right? So um, if you're creating a Samsung website, okay, whatever you write on the Samsung website is content writing. But whatever comes with the Samsung products, the manuals, the hardware guide, the software guide, that all is technical writing. I think that's fairly easy to understand now. From a single example, you can understand that whatever goes on the website, whatever the marketeers read, whatever your clients read, whatever your customers read, that's all content writing. But whatever you want to explain, the back end of the intricacies, that is all technical writing. Like, how was the Samsung product even made? How was that product made? So that's all technical writing. Great. Spiritual India. Hey, hi. Okay. Is content writing kind of browsing on a topic and recreating it? I see a lot of internship on content writing. That's a very good question, first of all. So I think that is the right thing to say about content writing, that yes, you are actually trying to recreate something by researching on it, but you're not actually copying that and making it as your product, as your writing. Okay, so this is the major difference that content writers do that. uh, you have to have that knack that you are even researching. Suppose I want to write on AI. Okay, I want to write on AI and Moneyball. Okay, how has Moneyball worked using AI technologies? Now, as a content writer, I might not even know what is Moneyball, how is AI technology used for it. So I will research. Like, I will research 5 to 6 to 7 articles on Google. I will try to read it on Medium. I will try to read on every other news article, everything. And out of my understanding, I'll try to create an article that's in such simple words that, again, the reader finds it easy. So I'm trying to browse on a topic, I'm trying to recreate, but it's almost like you are just gaining knowledge out of that research and then you're writing for it. And I think that requires another level of skill set. So you have also said that I see a lot of internship on content writing. Yeah. So that is one more thing that I see in India, that there are a lot of internships that are doing around content writing, but there is not a lot that is talked around technical writing. So that's right, and I agree with that. Will our work still be acceptable if we make mistakes on LinkedIn? I didn't get the question. Please rephrase the question. I didn't get it. Soumya has asked how to contribute for open source code and where. Okay, that's a very good question. I wanted someone to ask this. So, contributing to open source projects, it's not very difficult. All you have to do is either be a part of a community that already has a lot of open source projects, or be a part of GitHub. Just try, go and make an account on GitHub. There are a lot of communities. Like, suppose I also gave an example of being a part of Reddit. So Reddit has a technical writing group where you can be a part of that group, and a lot of organizations. Suppose Django is making one of the best code organizations, and they have also asked for a technical writer to write their documentation. Imagine that. And then there are I already told you about the competition that has been doing the rounds, like Google season of docs. Even that competition has a lot of open source organizations where you can contribute. So there is a lot of opportunity there. It's just that we have to pick the right one. And apart from that, if you really want to be, you can be a part of my community. I try to post everything that's around open source documentation. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Is there any community of content writers where I can join and learn from experienced people? So I have a community of content writers as well, but I don't keep it a lot active with small discussions or small talks. It's majorly for understanding what is content writing, what are the price quotations that you can do, what are the resources where you can learn, and what are the tools that you can apply. So I do have a community of content writers. If you want to join, you're free to join. I have a lot of links, so you're always welcome. Tripathi asked, what do you think are the essential components of a good web content? So I have done a video around this also. So I have explained it there also, that for a good web content, try to be conversational, try to write in smaller sentences, and work in a pyramid. We call it pyramid shape of writing. What's that? That the major information, the major chunk of information is at the top, and as you try receding down, you come to the very least minimal informative part of it. So that's how web content is written. That the information is at the top, because you will never know that if the customers are going to scroll down your website. So always try to impose all your knowledge, all your important things at the top, and try to recede down that. So that's a good web content strategy that you should follow. Talk in numbers. People like numbers. When you say that you know 51% of our customers have gained so much insight just by using our website, and okay, that rhymed, but so, and that's how you create a good web content, because numbers talk and numbers feel good. But again, what I don't connect for a web content is having big jargon names, that we are very insightful, we are very blah blah blah, big words. I don't think so that works for web content anymore. The thing that works is personalization. So for my individual website, I've been working on that for quite some time now. For that also, I have kept a very conversational type of a tone, where people would feel that I'm talking to them through my website, and that's what will make them pick my things. That's what will make them click the things that I have on my website, right? So have a conversational tone if you can. So working on personalization. All right. Okay, so those are the only questions, I guess. Anyone else, if has anything, please, you can text. I'll be waiting.
Hey, Ankita.
Yeah, hi.
So, so I think you've answered beautifully for all the questions that students had,
Thank you.
and much appreciated of all the efforts that you've added. And what I'm going to do from my side is that add in all your details. I have all your details with me.
Yeah, sure. And let them connect with me on Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever they can.
Absolutely. I think they have a lot of questions with respect to the tools that you may want to answer them when they get connected to you.
Definitely,
Right.
definitely. That's what I said. One session is not enough to know everything, but I would be glad to help them if they want to connect. And
I'm really glad that they've understood the major difference between technical writing and content writing. So, also, I have a few questions, if you don't
sure,
mind.
sure, sure,
So,
sure.
yeah. Do you really think that internships can help them when they are at college? Taking up small projects would add a lot of value.
Of course, internships, not just when you are in college, but I think internships overall, even as a professional, if I get an internship right now, I would love to do that because internships are so, so important. And this is a big myth that we have in India. Again, I'm so sorry to say that. But when you go outside India, you realize that people actually take internships even when they are 8 years of experience, having 8 years of experience, having 10 plus years of experience. And internships are never bad because you are understanding a product. When you take an internship, you're understanding a product from A to Z. You are not just going and working like crazy for them. So internships are always good. I don't think so. Why should one never do internships?
Great. Yeah. Point of view, I wanted to know a lot of land job or an internship. So, what are the skills do you think require effective job technical writer if they're not from a writing background?
So yeah, I think that's what worked for me because I'm also not from a writing background as per se. What worked for me is when I was in college itself, I used to write a lot on social media. Social media, as in for me, it was Quora back then. But for and for technical writing, I used to contribute to GitHub projects. So I think, and I had my own startup in college. I had my own website in college. I used to write a lot of things that used to simplify my startups things as well. So if you are a college student, try to contribute in everything outside college. So that's how you build your portfolio. That's how you build your portfolio. So when you come out of your college, you don't have any excuses as to why I should not try that. If you come out of college and you've already written a lot for other websites, for a lot of clients, then when you come out of college, you don't have an excuse that I don't think so I can be a writer, because people will be willing to have you. So that's
Right.
it.
All right. So, one more question that I have is it necessary for people to learn SEO when they're entering technical writing? SEO is a lot important for content writers.
For technical writers, SEO doesn't really matter. uh, this is a very unpopular opinion, but I would like to throw it because even and that's I think that's a major fact why people don't know a lot about technical writing, is because it doesn't rank very well on SEOs. So whenever people talk on LinkedIn also, they talk a lot about content writing, they talk a lot about website writing, website content writing, about copywriting, everything but not technical writing.
Yeah.
So this is also because there is not a lot of marketing SEO strategies that are required to write technical content, because you are already involving yourself so much with the product. You're already involving yourself to understand the intricacies, the technical thing that runs behind, that you don't really have time to market it or to build a SEO out of it.
Right.
So that's not even a part that we should be concerned about. But as a content writer, these are the top things that you should be concerned about. These are the top things SEO, marketing. These are the things that you should live by if you're a content writer, but not
Great.
as much for a technical writer.
Makes sense. All right. So another question. I think this is something that I really have to ask. You know why? Because a lot of students are too hesitant to get inside technical writing. I'm sorry, my bad. The only reason because it's not a tech job, it's not a software job, and they think that they are underpaid. So I want you to explain the opportunities and the future of technical writing at this point of time.
So, again, like I told, I have been a part of a lot of communities. I don't think so I've told this. There is a community called Write the Docs. It's an international community of just tech writers. We have around 9,900 members in that community, and out of them, only 12 are Indians. So, and when the discussions happen in the group, I feel so privileged because I have been treated as a great member of that community, because I am like, taking up India's name forward or something like that. It makes me
Amazing.
feel like that because
So proud.
the term technical writing is not so well developed still in India. And that's the major reason that I want to tell you that there are a plethora of opportunities only if people take it seriously. Only if, I mean, not even seriously. I think a lot of students don't even know about technical writing. That's why I'm here today, because I want to tell everyone that it's such a good field. And as we talk about the pay and perks, I would like to tell that I obviously cannot disclose my perks and pay, but I can definitely say that I am earning equivalent to what a developer might get. So there is no such thing that you should not try technical writing. You just have to get better at it, Not an undervalued person would get that, but if you are really good at what you're doing, you're practicing it, you have a passion for it, nothing is stopping you from getting that pay. So even developers sometimes are underpaid just because they don't have the knack for it. So not everyone can be a developer, not everyone can be a technical writer, but if you want, nothing is stopping you. And yeah,
Makes
so
sense. Yeah.
yeah. And I think, Grishma, in our last session also, I told you this, that a lot of opportunities are waiting for technical writers. Again, I told you that I've been a part of Google season of Docs now. I've been selected as their technical writer. Uh, that's such a big thing, because not even 10% of the members who applied were Indians.
Amazing.
So the competition was so tough, because international people, like the people out of India, have gone way ahead us in technical writing stream. They know so much more than us. So I was feeling like, okay, I cannot compete here. But the thing when it happened, I was like, okay, if you try something, if you want, nothing's stopping you.
Amazing. Congrats on that. And secondly, I really of putting India on a global map with respect to technical writing, and you're trying your best. And I honestly believe students who are a lot from the young community. In a way, you're also empowering them and encouraging them, giving out all the tools of what is required to technical writing. And I see a huge potential and huge future for technical writers. Again, I would say that practice makes a man perfect. Uh,
Exactly.
so, so the more you practice, the more you're passionate about something, and the more one person is consistent over it. I think nothing can stop them from the pay or even establishing as much high as possible in terms of career.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So keeping that in mind, I think we are 5 minutes yet until the session is over, until the webinar is over. I think if you can check a few questions, uh,
Definitely.
I'm not sure if there are more questions.
I think there are some questions. One
Yeah,
minute.
just have a look at it. You can answer them quickly.
Okay, someone has asked how to create our own website. Can you please address about it? Okay, this might require a separate session, but creating your own website, I would suggest don't go rushing and in buying a domain, because I've done that mistake. I have bought the domain, I've created my website, but still it's not launched. So, so I will say, first create the entire structure of your website. If you know the tool, if you know about the tool Sketch, I don't know if you know, but download Sketch, it's free, and try to create your website on Sketch. The structure of your website, like one page, it's going to talk about the homepage. It's going to talk about me. The second page, it's going to talk about my work. And similarly, create pages for your content for whatever you want to address for with your website. Um, and then when you have done that, when you are ready with your structure, with your everything, buy a domain by with GoDaddy, and then buy for a hosting, which see, hosting can also be, sorry, so hosting can also be bought through GoDaddy. You can buy your hosting through GoDaddy, uh, or you can go for WordPress or anything that. So once everything is done, you're ready to go. You're ready to launch. That's it. Someone has asked, I'm a student at university. Should I apply for internships or is it someone will mentor us? So internships generally happen with obviously one-to-one mentorship. No one is, because interns are generally college pass out for in India, which I don't like. So when internships are given by companies, which they allow with only managers. So suppose I'm a writer, and if I'm offering internships, the intern will be under me, and that's how I'll give my task to him. I'll explain it. I'll explain everything to him, and that's how we learn in internship. So this is a beforehand experience. Before you start real work, you are getting a beforehand experience with internships. What are important components for technical writing? Akshay Pujari has asked this. Okay. So before I answer this question, guys, I would want. Sorry. So I have tweeted on my Twitter, and I want all of you to just go visit this tweet and reply or answer. Okay. So I'm just posting that link over here. I want to actually listen
So
to
I'm
the
just posting that link over here. I want to actually listen to the. So I'm just posting that link over here.
tweet. So I just want to know that what is the actual problem that you students face that is stopping you from taking up your passion as your career. So I just want to know that. Okay. All right. So yeah, I was answering one more question. What are important components for technical writing? I don't exactly understand the question, because components for technical writing is like having a knack for brevity, writing concise content, um, having a knack for technical things, especially because I don't think so. All content writers can be technical writers. So you should have a knack and eye detailing for technical things. Or you should understand the code, the language that is being used, because otherwise, if you yourself don't understand the language, you will not be able to write a code properly. Or understand the language. And how do you go about creating a content strategy for a client or brand? Okay, that's a good question, Ashwini. Uh, okay, if you want to create a content strategy for your brand, first of all, you should have your portfolio. So this is something. Now beginners usually ask me that, since we have just begun, how are you expecting us to have a portfolio when we have not written for someone else? So that's what I had told Grishma as well, that when you start writing, please make sure that not for a client, but you have written for yourself. You have something on LinkedIn, you have something on Quora, you have something on Medium. Just make sure that you have some content to show to someone. Even beginners like me have started like this. I have started by showing off my Quora profile, I've started by showing off my LinkedIn profile. So that's how even I have begun. And once you start getting clients, once you start getting the knack of it, you start creating those links for your own portfolio. So this is how you should create your content strategy. Make sure that you have a portfolio. Second thing is, make sure you have all the conversations with your clients with in emails. Don't ever make a mistake by having those conversations on either LinkedIn chat or any other chat. So never make it a chat version of it. Be it Let it be always professional. So have those conversations on emails, right? And the third thing is be very specific with your quotes. On LinkedIn, I have created an article around it, how to make the best price quotations of your articles. Go through it, make sure that you're quoting the best price. Don't go beneath something that is not that's under your, that's undeserving. Okay, so make sure you're being paid well. And when you think that these three things are well in place, try to create the mail and just send it to your clients. Try to approach your clients through LinkedIn. I have again, this session is becoming more about LinkedIn, so I'll stop. But yeah, so that's the content strategy that I follow. Thank you so much, everyone. You have joined. I think I don't have any more questions, right?
Yeah. I think you've pretty much answered and covered all the questions required. So thank you very much, Ankita. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks.
You know, you've had a busy schedule all this week, and
Yeah.
you and you prepared for this. Much appreciated. Really, really appreciate your efforts and the fact that you're doing so much in the field of technical writing and promoting it. Not promoting, but making and creating an awareness about the importance of this career opportunity as well. So I really appreciate that.
Thank
So yeah, from my end, what I'm gonna do, I already have all your details. So while we're gonna host this particular video on our YouTube channel, I'm gonna ensure that they have all the details and links of yours, especially your community, that is super writers. So they can join in and learn as much as possible. So do you have any one last message, one last advice that you would want to give all the people who want to begin writing?
Not as per se the advice, but I would want students that please get out of the bubble that we have all been living on since years now, that we don't have any other option other than doing engineering and following a software developer job. I'm not saying that you should not do engineering. I'm not saying that you should drop out of your graduations, nothing like that. Please, because we need to have degrees, right? We need to have something, we need to have a learning. But apart from that, just grow out of that bubble and make sure that you have enough knowledge about what's going on in the world, because there's a lot that's going on. So make sure that happens. And second advice, most important advice, please be a part of a community, because you are going to learn so much when you are a part of a community, because your peers, the members themselves, are in the same loop in which you are stuck, right? And then there are mentors that have 5, 8, 10 years of experience that can help you. And then there are members who are stuck in the same loop, and then you don't really feel stuck that much. You feel like, I can, get over this, I can be a better someone, not just writer, but any better someone. So be a part of community also. That's
Perfect.
it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ankita.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have you more in the future, so we have detailed discussion about
Oh,
the other
definitely.
topics.
Thank you.
So one last announcement to all the viewers. We're gonna more about technology, and the next week we're going to have a session on blockchain technology. So we're going to announce it very soon in the coming days. So ensure that you follow us on Merge and Turn page on our Instagram. You can follow us on LinkedIn as well. We'll send you all the links. You'll have an awareness about the other technologies as well. Thank you very much. Take care and stay safe, everybody. Ankita, thank you.